All right, all right, all right. We are live, live, live. I am going to let this just heat up for a second here, blowing off all of the new dust from all of these new accents and all the craziness going on, and letting this connect with all sorts of platforms. I'm even trying out Twitch, but uh, I'm still working on a formal introduction. However, wanted to just really kick this off in a special way, and that is wanting to give credit where it's due. And so before I roll the intro, there was a lot of work. There was a lot of support that went into Comics by Night. And I wanted to really quick just lift up those people because this has been a journey for, gosh, like over a year and a half ago or so. It's been absolutely crazy and so cool and transformative for me. And just getting to this point has been with the helping hand of many, many people. And so, really quick, just in the spirit of getting credit where it's due, first of all, I got to give a shout out just to the customers and team at Rainbow Comics, where I work out full time. First and foremost, the comic book sensei himself. Many of you know him as Old Man Logan, but John Nordstrom really has been kind of my biggest cheerleader and supporter and enabler. With purchasing different back issues. And with that came just a slew of special people and customers at our shop. So coming up next, then, I wanted to just give recognition to Pat. And Pat is unfortunately no longer with us, but he was someone that in my early stages of should I do this, is the literature fun? He was the biggest supporter by far, and just a good human being. So Pat, this is for you, and I hope that by celebrating these books that I do the medium justice. And so thank you for your belief in me. Alongside Pat, John Jesperson, Lloyd, Danny, Ryan, just all the awesome folks at Rainbow Comics that I've lifted this channel up to. Can't forget about Ken, or I'll be in big trouble. Technically a coworker, and also just the boys from A Comic Book Look and Comic Book Bears, just huge supporters, and it's been truly just a team lift. Onto the visuals that you're about to see. I would be in big trouble if I forgot to lift up everyone that was involved with this crazy introduction. And a special, just big shout out to Sam and Casey from Screams from the Basement podcast. That has been just so fun. And it's just been really cool to see all this come together, and also to watch Screams from the Basement. So if you guys haven't already, please give them a follow. They're amazing. And I will just also say thank you to everyone that was involved with the production of this introduction. It's crazy. And I'm so excited. I did, per StreamYard, I had to cut the introduction in half, which was kind of the plan anyways, because it was a little long. So a couple of things with that. There is a complete version. I will be posting that onto YouTube coming up here in the next week or so. But without further ado, I would like to go ahead and roll that introduction. And I'm seeing a lot of love in the comments here, and we'll get to that shortly. All right, you guys, let me know what you think. So that is the introduction for the first half of it. I do have the second half as well, and I will definitely be showing that tonight too, because this is the first episode and I want all the things special. But Thank you guys again so much. Holy smokes at the comments. I can't even keep up right now. Tom, I see you. Casey, Debbie, Ken. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And yeah, I'm so excited and nervous and everything else. And yeah, Ken's downstairs like LOL. But without further ado, let me kick off the show here and try to do it differently from a comic book look. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to Comics by Night. It's your boy, John on Demand. I don't have like a Grim Reaper name or anything like that yet, but we'll see what I can come up with. Tonight, on Comics by Night, I'm actually going to be tackling two Marvel Comics classics, and these actually hail from 1969. This was crazy to read tonight. It's been absolutely surreal to just kind of sit back and enjoy these. And so I'm going to just really quick load those books up on to the screen here and really highlight them because they're amazing. Tower of Shadows #1. So this one is actually from September of 1969 from Marvel, you guys. And first of all, I just really want to lift up the cover art on these is amazing. I'm so excited to get into this. These are so much fun. Before I dive into the books really quick, I also wanted to just point out this amazing book stand. This was actually given to me by comic book artist Pat Gleason. And on the back, he even signed it. He even signed it with what he calls the Pat Pumpkin, which he was like, yeah, I've never done one of these before, but here it is. And I'm like, dude, I love this so much. So Pat, thank you so much for the sweet book stand. I saw it right away on his stand and I was like, oh my gosh, it's bright orange. And I love that because I love all things that glow. And so I was just really, really giddy about that. Tonight, these books are really fascinating because this is my first time jumping into them. So I've been power collecting Marvel horror for the past year and a half or so, and I haven't read any of it. So this was my first time reading this. I was saving it all for the show, and I'm so excited. Tower of Shadows is an interesting beast, all right? So this one, it is a series of short stories, and each issue, between issues 1 and 2, have 3 short stories in them, which is actually kind of fun. So I originally started this whole project thinking like, oh, I'm going to get like all the history of Ghost Rider and Morbius and stuff like that. But there's so much more to this than the characters that we're seeing on the shelves now. And what the more of that is actually just from cover to cover in this book. There's a lot of cool things going on, from the ads that we see to the letters to the listings of what issues are coming out. And it really is, much like all the books of that time, a snapshot in terms of what was going on. And I find that just incredible. It's so much fun. And it has so many notes compared to books now. I'm actually missing some things from current issues that I am getting from these. So I'm actually really excited to dive into this. On the cover here, this is actually featuring a couple from the first story. So this is Lou and Marie. Marie is totally after the money. The gentleman in the frame is actually Lou's uncle, and Lou's uncle passed away. And as it turns out in the story, Lou pushed him off a cliff, which is really dark. And Marie is like, yeah, let's go into his house and find the fortune, get rich. I love you so much, blah, blah, blah. So totally just one of those kinds of couples. There's a couple of things going on in here that I just wanted to highlight, and I don't want to spoil the book by any means, but I am just going to turn this real quick here just so we can see. The way that these stories open, first of all, we have not the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt. This guy is literally called the Digger, as in grave digger. And he has that witty dialogue, and he's full of those puns that we see from like Tales from the Crypt. And I love that with some of these, this first one he doesn't do it, but with some of these titles he like blends in the title of the story with his maniacal laughter moment, and it's the best thing ever. It's so much fun, and it makes me think back to watching episodes of Tales from the Crypt. Not necessarily Are You Afraid of the Dark, because there wasn't like a dedicated host to that, but along those lines of like Tales from the Crypt. This first story, edited by Stan Lee, written and illustrated by Steranko, and lettered by Sam Rosen. This is so fun to me. Being part of a creative team that's working on comic books, I'm actually tuning in more now to who does what, to have a better understanding of things that I love. So that way it helps me target future stories that I really want to dig into, be them Marvel horror or other work. So it's just kind of fun to pay attention to, what's going on when. The other thing that my job at Rainbow has taught me is that reading the fine print on the inside of the book, be it on that first page or towards the back of the issue, is invaluable. So you guys will get the release dates, you will get the who actually published it, and in this case, it's interesting to see mention of a magazine management company as well. So I don't know if that's like where it was just physically printed under the Marvel imprints, or what that means, but it just makes me want to like Google all this stuff and learn it. So again, a true snapshot of time. Also, just on the inside cover, those infamous ads such as pocket radios, live seahorses. Oh my gosh, I remember those. But jumping into the artwork here, we have just a lot going on. I'm gonna just try to pick up my phone camera here and just show this off, really setting the tone. I'm loving the blues in there. This is all about Marie and Lou going up to the house, but more importantly, I just love the environment. Look at that artwork, you guys. I mean, I literally was just grinning the whole time I was reading this. And this is what we're seeing on this page is really them just entering the house and Lou revealing to Marie, "Hey, I didn't turn on the electricity. Sorry, we're gonna be in the dark for a while." And she was like, "What?" And there's lines in here where she calls him a tame mouse. She makes mention of, "Oh, I thought I married a man." Why do you think I married you when I could have married a man, is what she says. Marie is fierce, you guys. Like, she's not a nice person. I don't know. Like, for this time, I'm sure that this was kind of a hoot to write. Here's some more really just gorgeous artwork though. Like, oh, like just the environment that we're getting here, and it was just such a fun read. So Lou's ascending the stairs and he sees his uncle move, and he's like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" With that, Marie's like, "Dude, you're totally losing your mind. Let's go ahead and find the fortune." Well, hold up, he pointed this way. And so they enter his uncle's office, and his uncle turns out is into witchcraft. And I really love this particular set of panels here. I love the skull candle, but more importantly, I really like the titles of these books. And so we have Black Magic. We have, I have to zoom out a little bit so I can read it. We have Satan in the 15th Century, Black Art, Demonology, and then what's this one on the far left? Book Without a Name. So it just makes me wonder, like, how fun was it for the artist and writer to come up with the names of these tomes, and just have just such a blast with it. And now it truly is just entertaining to read. Fast forwarding here, they basically find themselves going back in time at this point. So she finds the fortune down here. She's like, "Oh my gosh, the money's yay!" And then he's just like, the path that my uncle was seeking, which was basically regarding time, he basically found it. And they end up at a place where the uncle is standing by a guillotine. And unfortunately, they began to scream and were basically attacked by what appears to be a horde of ghost peoples from that time period. And then I really love that the way that this one closes down here. Visually, it's just delightful. But it says, "No one ever heard of the Fowlers again," which is Lou and Marie. "The candles that lit the strange Gothic hallways have long since burnt out. Now only the sound of the sea can be heard. Shadow House is dark once more." And then the funny thing about this that I absolutely adore are these little quips down here. And so too bad, isn't it? So it's just like the narrator, so the digger, nagging them on kind of thing. We have more amazing ads in this book here, which again is just funny to me. Like, you too can get a guitar or a TV. This next one I really like. So again, we see our good friend here. He's rocking out with his shovel. And I really love, this is where he blends it in. "I call this little tale From Beyond the Brink." This one was a lot of fun. And Tom, I did see your comment about it being from the 60s, but I don't want to spoil the ending, especially for this one, because this one was so clever and so much fun. And so this one is about an author who's tailing a guy who goes around basically debunking mediums. and mediums, people that are talking to passed away relatives, that kind of stuff. So it was a booming field at the time. So this probably was a fun topic for the creative team to tackle. So Arthur's been working on his book, and he's following a gentleman by the name of Hayden Hathaway around. And Hayden Hathaway is infamous for just busting these mediums, finding tripwires, finding projectors to make ghosts appear, that kind of stuff. He's seen it all. And they're on their way to the next job here, which is going to be investigating this gal here. And it's really funny because she is described as breathtaking beauty who opens the door. He introduces himself as, I'm Arthur Watson. Mr. Hathaway has already arrived. We've been waiting for you. So that's pretty funny. This gal is Madame Angelica, and she basically performs a seance, and things actually go down, different spirits and so forth. At the end of this is what's really crazy to me. Mr. Hathaway literally grabs a crowbar and is like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and find how you do what you do and destroy your office, basically. So he's turning over chairs. He takes a crowbar to the wall, and it's just the most outlandish thing ever. I have to hold the book up really quick here because I don't want to spoil it. Yep. Yes. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to. I'm going to cover that. But I really do think that this one was a lot of fun. It ends up being a really clever ending, you guys. But again, I'm going to leave you on the cliffhanger on this one just because it was that freaking fun. But I am going to go ahead and head to the next tale here. So again, we have our host on the top left there. This is an interesting tale. It's about an older gentleman named Sebastian Schrag, who has taken on an inmate who can't speak by the name of Arthur as well. Arthur is just really sticking around and putting up with this guy's crap because he ultimately wants the secret to living long. And so Sebastian is literally just talking down to him nonstop. Don't stand there gloating, you scheming simpleton. I know what you're thinking. You expect me to die before I can find the secret of eternal life, and then you plan to steal my wealth, my scientific treasures. But you won't. Do you hear me? I'll find that formula yet. And just the term simpleton, and there were some funny terms in here, you guys. And I'm sure we've all seen it when we read those older books. And it's so funny. You've no other choice. If not for me, he's saying this to Arthur, you'd end your days in a prison cell, trapped behind bars like the whimpering beast that you are. Can you just imagine talking to someone like that these days? I don't know. I totally dig it. And again, the artwork. Tom, I completely agree. This artwork is fantastic. Kylan, I see you, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bloodborne Comics. Yes, I have read one so far as part of my horror comics playlist and loved it. So I'm not opposed to that. We'll see. Yeah, no, this really is just a hoot. Fast forwarding, it turns out that he discovers the redwood tree. It lives virtually forever. So this tree has lived for more than 1,000 years. Now saw off a sliver, you worthless bumbler. Then I will extract its vital fluid. So the sap is extracted. We have more ads. And enough, you fool. That's it. I found it. The very essence of the redwood tree. Once I drink this fluid, my life will never end. And then you despicable dolt, I'll rid myself of you. And of course, Arthur, being the smart guy, literally knocks him out. And so let me de-shadow that just a little bit. Literally knocks him out, pushes him against the shelf, to which he is now leaning against the wall saying, help me, get me my pills, and then instantly dies. So that's crazy too and kind of brutal. And then poor Arthur definitely gets what he wants, except that redwoods, evidently per the story, don't use a lot of energy, and so he just grows roots and grows into place. At the end here, we see our narrator. Lucky for Arthur, Sebastian has an antidote for the potion, but how will he get it? From a dead man. If you think of anything, let him know. But take your time, my friend. He won't be going anywhere. And so it has that total cheeky humor, and I'm here for it. I love it so much. We have more ads, just more classic ads here, karate, different things like that. But one of my favorite things here, you guys, was actually this just the baddie bulletins to bewilder, bewitch, and bedazzle you. And so this does contain also a Stan's soapbox, and it has different items here. And these were so fun to read through. So first of all, the top left one points out that in addition to Tower of Shadows, there's also Chamber of Darkness, which I happen to have a lot of those. So I'm looking forward to kind of catering my reading journey into experiencing what was coming out at the time. And then as you read through it, there are different things, including when you send money for subscriptions, please do these specific instructions. So back then it wasn't PayPal or electronic forms of payment. So that was kind of fun. There also was the Mighty Marvel checklist. And there was a specific bulletin about some of the romance titles that were coming out, which I just got such a kick out of. So it was fun. It was about my love and our love story. On the right-hand side, there are different issues mentioned, which I remember a lot of my X-Men and X titles in the 90s also did that, where it had the series name and then a brief synopsis. But this is definitely just kind of a long-standing tradition, it looks like, and I love having these early bird ones. So like I said, this is a really neat timestamp. Finally, I did just want to point out this really cool ad. Hold it right there, literature lovers. Lol. Let's get some more light. Right there, literature lovers. We've cooked up another new mess of nasties for you, so watch for them at your local haunting place. So when you come into Rainbow Comics, please refer to us as the local haunting place, because that is literally what it is. Memorize the title. Don't force us to remind you. Chamber of Darkness, on sale July 15th, a day that may live in infamy. They had so much fun with this, you guys, and so did I. I love this so much. At the end here, there's kind of an art school ad, complete with a little coupon to fill your information, mail that off, and then just more ads on the end. But ultimately, I had so much fun with this one, and I completely loved it. So that is issue 1 of Tower of Shadows. And I am so glad that I am rocking this series, and I'm looking forward to reading more of it, as well as Chamber of Darkness. So with that, I did do a 2 for tonight, and I wanted to just get into the second one. This is Tower of Shadows issue number 2. Boop. And just going in on this cover really quick here. The Menace of the Hungry One. Oh my gosh, don't you dare miss Witch Hunt. And then it's always tales that will blow your mind. So just kind of a fun one. These books, by the way, I love a good reader's copy, you guys. When I buy comics, I'm not going to slab them. I'm not reselling them or anything like that. Like, I thoroughly am just here to soak it up and enjoy it. One thing I noticed right away with this first one is that we do have our faithful narrator. He's actually on the bottom left here. I really like this page layout. It's something kind of different and fresh. I'm just really quick going to scoot this over this way, just so we can see more of that page there. But I really, 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 really like it. This first one is really interesting. The character that we're seeing here, it goes by the name of Winston Tate. And he is basically a failing TV producer. This is editor of Stan Lee, Roy Thomas on writing, Don Heck on artist, Dan Adkins on embellisher, and Artie Simic on letter. By the way, I was terrible and did not read the creative teams for the other short stories. I apologize, but I will get those in this one. So this story is really fun because he basically fires his writer and sends him on his way, and is like, I'm going to go find some material for this show, but let me look at your ideas really quick. And so he does, and the writer actually has a good idea of introducing witches or warlocks, and the guy's like, you're still fired, it's fine. He ends up going to this village and comes across this, he literally flies international, and comes across this scene where he's driving on the wrong side of the road, and all of a sudden finds a group of women, like older women, attacking a younger woman, which was interesting. And he goes, this guy's so full of himself. Stop! In the name of Winston Tate. Get out of here. Get out of here. And sure enough, they run away. Winston Tate, who would have thought? He's basically connecting with this younger gal saying, hey, I need to take you to this village that you came from to get proof that you have been tried as a witch, and that then I'm going to take you back with me so that you can be like the star of my new show. And she's like, no, I really don't want to go. Let me leave this village forever. Please let me go in peace. And then this dialogue again, if you take me there, you seal my doom. So I thoroughly am loving just the dialogue here. It's so great. Again, shout out to the artwork on these stories, but just the tones that we have here, the different colors, the expressions, the page layout, everything. It's just so much fun. So Winston walks into the bar and is talking to all the townsfolk, and is like, hey, was she actually tried as a witch? And they're like, kind of, I guess. But he's like, hey, all I want from you is a few tape-recorded statements swearing that this woman was duly accused and tried for being a witch. Then we'll leave and you'll never see either of us again unless you have a TV antenna, because we'll be all over TV. And they're like, dude, you're going to disgrace our village. Absolutely not. But ultimately, they're like, we don't want your money. We only want her death, so our village will be safe once more. He's just like, dude, what? No. This isn't happening. Basically, then the townsfolk charge him, and they literally use the term seize him. So he is seized right after these ads, of course. However, he is seized to the point that he is not leaving that village, and she ends up leaving that village, which is even funnier. The point of this one is that the gal actually was not a witch, but rather the village was all warlocks, and she was trying to become a witch, but absolutely was not one. So I thought that was just kind of an interesting plot twist, and that's the kind of writing that I like with these, is that they just have so much fun with it, and you can tell just through the cleverness of it. This next one is talking about, and this kind of hits home because this is a topic right now. The narrator here is opening up. Wyatt is the main boss character of a mining team, and he says, "Look out, Wyatt! Automation's gonna get your job." This is all about being productive on a mining team. This is edited by Stanley, Gary Friedrich on the writing, John Buscema on penciler, John Verporten on inks, and Artie Simic on lettering. So basically, Wyatt is this absolutely get back to work. We need to be productive, or the machines are going to take our job, because management has mentioned bringing machines to do their job, and he does not like that. He is like, we need to get paid, so we need to work. He ends up punching one of his dudes and sends him to the doctor's office, I guess. I don't know. They end up going out. So this scene was really funny to me. So Wyatt ends up going out with one of his coworkers, and like, oh yeah, we're just gonna have a good time. There's no robot that could drink like we do. He ends up finding a gal that he's attracted to, literally punches out the guy that she's with on a date. And then she goes, check this out. I don't know. I mean, I hardly know you, but you certainly are a real man. And I just adore the muscular type. All right, you can take me home. I was tired of that weakling anyway. What? Yeah. So times were wild, I guess, in the 60s. I don't know what's going on. But the next day, Wyatt and the team are down there, and suddenly he gets a call from HQ, and you see his disgruntledness down here. They're sending down a robot, and he's absolutely pissed. Absolutely pissed. And they're like, yeah, it's coming down the elevator right now. And he's just furious. So there's the robot coming down. There it is. And Wyatt just goes into this like outrage and proceeds to push it against the wall, ripping out its wires. However, when the robot hits the wall, it causes a cave-in. And during the cave-in, he's able to reach a phone to let them know, hey, I'm alive. And they're like, well, it's going to take a while to get you out, but the robot should be able to get you out. I have to find the wires that I ripped out. No, so our narrator ends this one in, but to win the victory, he had to pay the highest price man can pay in time of war, his life. Or maybe he found his needles in that rock-strewn haystack. What do you think? And now, if you'll excuse me, I have a rather deep commitment to attend to. So it's just that it's that humor, you guys. I just love it. I love it, love it, love it. This last tale in here has Stan Lee on editing, Neil Adams on writing and artist, Dan Atkins on inks, and Sam Rosen on lettering. So the One Hunger's Tale, again, it's just a different rendition of our narrator, but this one was really interesting because it basically had the creature itself narrating, so it's kind of almost like in third person. What do you got, Bill? What you got? You should show that Saturday morning TV ad you just passed. What do I got? What do I got, Bill? Oh, yeah. ABC's Super Saturday Club. And I'm seeing some familiar faces on here. Boop. Heck yeah. Good call. Good call, Bill. So anyways, this just talks about from the creature's perspective, more of those ads. Oh, you got another page back, you said? One more? Oh, my bad. My bad. Yeah. Check this out, you guys. Good call, Bill. We have Casper. We have Smokey the Bear. We have, hold up, the Chattanooga Cats, Hot Wheels. Oh, yeah. Hardy Boys, Skyhawks. And then Fantastic Voyage and The Adventures of Gulliver. That's cool. It's so fun to see these. I love that. I love that they do that. More ads here though. These were it's just so funny. Electric guitars for $13. Okay. But we eventually fast forward here we meet a couple that's just kind of checking out like this area that almost looks like a crop circle, so it's just completely barren. And we have these two folks. The guy's name is Denny, and Sheila is the gal, and they're just like, what happened here? They end up investigating the house, and his leg ends up falling through the floor. And you see this huge thought bubble here. And shout out to the letterer again, because I really like this with the orange and black. Food! And it really just distinguishes the creature from the characters that we're encountering. The creature's sliding down the stairs and is just like, oh man, touches her arm and starts to form up a little bit, but needs more food. She's like, dude, we need to get out of here. And they end up trucking it. She ends up helping get his foot out of the floor, and they run and run and run, and they end up reaching this barren zone. The creature ends up fizzling out entirely, and then somehow just kind of doing a root, like a symbiote thing towards her mouth, which basically implies that the creature was still hungry and that Sheila might have met her timely demise. The narrator on this one ends with, did Sheila scream or didn't she? Only her head shrinker knows for sure, and he isn't telling. What's that you say? You heard a scream? Perhaps it's from our next issue. And that is literally the way the book ends, you guys. That is the funniest thing ever. So again, this is Tower of Shadows, issue number 2. Just lovely cover and just so fun. I am so thankful that I read these issues, and I am looking forward to more and more of this. I have been just collecting up a storm of Marvel horror specifically. So we will be getting into the Ghost Riders and so forth, but this really helps give me the roots in terms of the Marvel genre. And I absolutely loved it. So that is my episode tonight, but I did promise you guys I would show the second half of the introduction that I wasn't able to keep all together. So if you're cool with that, I'm going to throw this on super quick here and let it roll. Oh, did I end it early? Hold up, hold up, hold up. We can't do that. All right, all right, all right, all right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Also, never, ever, ever touch the mouse when that outro or intro is rolling because it disrupts it. So lesson learned. Thank you guys so much for the monster turnout though tonight. This was so much fun, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. If you have any suggestions or books that you want me to highlight in the future, let me know. I have a steady playlist of Marvel horror coming up, and I'm so excited to get into them and read them all. But until then, I will see you guys next time. And until I come up with a clever outro, I'm just going to say keep those candles lit and have an excellent week in comics. We'll see you guys next time. All right. See you guys.